Good afternoon, everyone. This is Anthony Wall Street Traders, 12:53 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on Tuesday, September 7th, 2021. This is not financial advice. The video is intended for educational purposes only. Click the subscribe and the bell. If you want to be notified of the videos, click the thumbs up. If you want people to see Nucypher a little more often, twitter.com link is below in the description below the video. If you want intraday updates, I just tweeted one out not too long ago. Let's get into what's going on. Now, we're down at 35 and change. Yesterday, we had hit a high of almost 50. It was like 50 cents. Pretty much 50 cents bang on. And a couple of things have happened since then. Well, first and foremost, there was a pullback anyway, which we could imagine. Of course, there's always going to be a pullback. I'm still holding 125% of my capital, my risk capital for Nucypher in Nucypher, so nothing's really changed. But let's just be very clear about one thing. Bitcoin was the market mover today, primarily, the one that created the havoc. But before we get into that, let's talk about Nucypher. Nucypher, here's the bullish channel that we continually talk about that started back in February. I said we'd start our trek up. Now, what has happened is we pulled back. But where do we pull back to? Let's take a look. We pulled back to the top what was once resistance, which is now support, the top yellow line of that bullish wedge. This is the point where it came down. It broke this line of support, the red sharp line of support, came down but quickly pulled back over it. So we kind of had a fear over here, this little wick that sticks below the longer term red line. So I think what we're talking about is a little bit of a scare. These aberrations happen, and it was really driven by Bitcoin because this is not the only altcoin that got impacted, and Bitcoin was just as much impacted. Now let's go over to the Nucypher Bitcoin pair before we get into Bitcoin itself. But again, we fell down to this basement line of support that we have talked about. It held very well here, came back up. So now we're back up to 742, which is fantastic. When we started hitting 50 cents, we were up at 950. And that's kind of like the range we want to be at. We want to be on this bluish line, the 800 level. And we'll get there. But we're already up at 745. So we're in not bad shape. Nucypher's holding its own day over day. Remember, yesterday we were in the 30s, 35, 36 as it was. Now let's take a look at Bitcoin. And before we get into it, let's just understand a couple of things. Let me go through the news and we'll go through what the action was. The news on Bitcoin had all to do with El Salvador. Apparently there was some system issues with these Chivo automatic tellers. And they were overloaded. There was something going on with it. So they said instead of releasing it out today, where it's legal tender, they had to fix some of the performance aspects of these particular automated tellers, right? So the wallet was disconnected while server capacity was increased. So that created a little bit of fear. But look, this is exactly the kind of thing that will happen from time to time. System issues are normal, especially for those on this call or on this listening to the video who are developers or whatnot. Things like this happen all the time. So what they have to do is just make sure they fix it, and let's not let it happen again. And then we'll move on. But right now, this is an acute situation. This is not a systemic problem with Bitcoin. So I consider this a buying opportunity. In fact, I bought more Bitcoin on that news, on that drop. Anyway, so let's go back into Bitcoin and let's look at the price action. Well, we were in the channel. We're almost back in the channel. And again, I think we will get back into this channel because this was a very acute circumstance and they will wind up fixing it. I have no doubt. Now we're literally on the line right here. So this is the line that goes up. We went down pretty significantly and bounced and slung straight from 42 and change all the way back. Let's take a look at a much deeper view of the price action today. So this is what happened. What time was it? It was around 11:08 or so, a couple hours ago, and then we bounced back. I think that by the end of the day, we're going to be back over this green line. But we will see how things play out. I think it's probably rattled some nerves. What's more important is that altcoins got decimated today. And let's look at the Bitcoin dominance pair. People have to understand this because this is a huge deal. Now, Bitcoin dominance, as we were moving on yesterday, everything was fine. But then Bitcoin dominance just shot up right around the time when this whole thing happened. So it's almost like everyone got out of altcoins quicker than Bitcoin, and Bitcoin went down too. So I think altcoins probably got hit a little harder in general, just based on this Bitcoin dominance pair. Now we're back down to here. Okay, things seem to have settled a little bit. I think people are starting to think slightly longer picture now, knowing and recognizing that this is an acute situation with technology deployed by the El Salvadorian government, which they screwed up. So they're going to fix it. I'm not scared one bit. I consider this a buying opportunity, and that's what I did. I bought more Bitcoin today. I think Nucypher will recover as well, and I am still invested. I wasn't planning on selling when it hit 50, and I'm not going to sell I'm not even planning to sell when it hits 70. So that's just how I'm looking at it. But we're still on the bullish path for Nucypher US dollar, and we are still on the bullish path on the Nucypher Bitcoin pair, and I am still bullish on Bitcoin. And let's see how things play out. I will be tweeting out along the day. Talk soon.